guys, it's your girl AJ, the Glamour Witch, and I am back for another video. Okay, I know it's been a minute, but your girl has been working diligently on her album and a lot of new projects that's coming up. So something had to take the back seat, and I'm sorry these videos are taking the back seat, but trust me, when you see what I'm making on the other side, you'll understand why. But I'm here, so I wanted to do a video on some money magical things that you can do to add to your arsenal, but also because I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the money oil video. I promise you it's coming, but it's kind of like my baby, so I'm trying to, hold off until it's time. But I wanted to give you some more money manifestation and money magic tools that you can add to your witchy kit, right? So today we are making magic paper, okay? And I've heard it called manifestation paper. I've heard all different types of stuff. But basically, it is going to be magically infused paper that's set with a certain intention. So we're going to be making money paper today that you can use for money rituals. You can use for money petitions. You can use it when you're doing a petition for a mojo bag. You can use it when you're writing and scripting for how much money you want to, bring into your life, or you can use the paper itself to write something on it and then burn it and release that energy. It's already infused with the vibrations of money and abundance and prosperity, and it makes your life a little bit easier, Work smarter, not harder, okay? And there are so many different ways to use it, and I'm not really here to tell you how you should use it in your practice. I'm just here to tell you how to make it. So if you want to learn how to make magic money paper, just keep watching. Cast a spell with me. Come and cast a spell with me. So we are going to be making magic money paper. And magic money paper is really just paper that is infused with magical intent, magical, items that are all in alignment with money and prosperity and abundance, whatever the case may be, that is going to help you call in the money that you're desiring in whatever ritual you're using it for. Or you can use the paper itself as the ritual, as the spell, writing your intention and then burning it and releasing it, whatever the case may be. You can do anything you want with this. Like I said, I'm just here to teach you how to make it. And I'll give you a couple of ideas of how I use it and how you can use it in your practice, okay? But you're really gonna make this your own. And I say all this to say that you can make this with any intention. If you wanna do a love paper, you can do it with love. If you wanna do wish paper, if you want to do whatever, there's really endless possibilities. Protection paper, baneful magic paper, whatever the case may be, you can make this paper into whatever it is that you want. And I'm going to give you some basic structures on how to do it and how to infuse this paper with the energy. And then you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Cause that's not on me, baby. That's on you. That's your craft. Okay. Ain't nobody telling you how to do your craft. Okay. Right. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make it, of course, and then I'm going to teach you a couple of techniques and different ways that I've used it in my practice, but really, it's up to you. It's endless possibilities. Okay, so let's dive in, okay? Okay, so first things first, you're going to want some type of a container that you can put your paper in. I'm going to be using this plastic container, but you kind of want it to be something that's square, the shape of actual paper here that you can lay in, and that there's enough space to put your paper in there and move it around and do whatever you want to do with it, okay? So I have this, I've cleaned this out, okay? And then what we're first gonna do before we put anything else in there, we're going to make a magical tea blend that is going to be in alignment with our intention, okay? So I'm here at the stove, which I'm gonna move you guys now. So we are going to make our tea, okay? I say tea, but really it's our magical witchy potion, okay? So first things first, in this blend, I'm going to add in bay leaves, of course. Bays are wishing herbs, and people will use bay for bay leaf rituals to bring in prosperity and abundance. So we're just going to bless and activate our bay. I'm going to add in some spearmint. Spearmint is great for money and prosperity. We're going to add in some ginger, okay? Ginger is great for, and you see, I don't know if you guys saw how it made it separate. It brings in power to the work, and it's great for stimulating money and abundance and prosperity, okay? So we're just gonna bless and activate it. I'm also going to add in some golden seal. Really like using this in money work for success and prosperity. Okay, so you can see that a lot of these are going to be in alignment with money. You're going to pick money herbs to add to this blend. Okay, this is the blend I'm using, but you can use whatever you want to use, right? I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Just a tiny bit of salt for protection, protecting our finances. I'm going to also put in a cinnamon stick. Cinnamon is great for money and prosperity work. I'm just gonna put like a whole cinnamon stick in there, okay? Remember, we are just making a little tea blend, okay? So you don't have to get crazy with it. I'm gonna add in an orange peel because I really like oranges in prosperity work for bringing in success and also for pulling in the vibration of the sun. It's really great energy. Okay, so we're gonna use some orange slices, little pieces here, just the rinds, not the whole orange. You can add to this some basil. Basil is always a great herb to add to this. Next, I'm gonna add in parsley. And the last thing I'm gonna add to this is I'm gonna add just a small little tad bit of honey to this. And when I say it's the smallest, I'm gonna actually use a little spoon. Okay, so you see, that's a very small amount, okay? And I'm just gonna mix it in with this. And we're gonna bless and activate the honey, that it attract money and prosperity to us, and that it makes money stick to us like honey. Right? And so this is not going to affect the paper, but it will add a little extra, you know. And it's also has sweetening properties as well, okay? You're sweetening the deal for yourself. You're sweetening your money situation. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of time. I'm gonna speak over this herbal blend. Of course, you don't have to do this specific recipe. You can do whatever works for you, whatever you have. But you see that all the ingredients that I used in here are items that you probably already have in your kitchen. I didn't put basil in here because I don't have any basil. But if you want to, that's a great herb to put in here. You can put some rosemary in here as well if you'd like to do that. Yeah, but this is what I'm putting in mine, because I got some other stuff coming in a second. So we're gonna let this steep and cook down. Okay, so one more thing that I forgot. I'm going to be adding a money oil to this. This is my money oil that I've created. And then I'm also going to be adding this oil, which is also something that I created. This is actually from my shop. It's not available right now, but it will be available soon. This is Magick Empowerment Oil. If you haven't had a chance to go and check out my Magick Empowerment video, you can. I add some different things in here, so this is going to be a little bit different than the one that I showed you how to make. But you can make it on your own if you can't afford to buy it from me, or if you'd like to have your own recipe, right? You can take that and adapt the stuff that I gave to you. So I'm gonna be adding this into the mix, okay? So we're blessed and activating this empowerment oil that it served to boost the work, right? Ooh, and that might be too much, to be honest with you. And now we're going to also add in a few drops of our money oil. You can use whatever money oil that you would like, but it should be one you really, really have a good relationship with, and you know what that money oil can do for you. This is my money oil that I've created, but if you have something that you want to use, I recommend the honeyjar.us. She has really great money oil products. Conjure Cardea, Inexplicable Things is one of them as well. There are tons and tons and tons of places that you can go. The Conjured Saint is another one that you can use for money, but you want something that you know is going to pull that energy and that vibration in for you, okay? So you can do less work. Okay, we're just gonna mix this together with my spoon. So I would just let that steep for about a few minutes or until it gets to a color that you like. Please remember that this is not going to be the thing that dyes the color or gives it its color. This is just the magical part of this that I'm adding in here to charge the work, okay? So we're going to move right along. Okay, Leo. So we're going to move along to the portion where I'm going to pour some water in here, we're gonna do some stuff in this container. Now, again, like I said, you want it to be a big container. And we're just gonna fill it up with a little bit of water. It doesn't need to be a ton of water, but it needs to be enough that it's enough to submerge the piece of paper in. So I'm gonna fill it up pretty decently, okay? And this is cool water, okay? And you want it to be kind of cool because the tea is gonna be hot, and you know, if it's cold, then that's great, and it's not going to dissolve your paper, and you don't want the problems that are gonna come with that later, okay? I'm gonna be using gemstone infusion. You already know that I love gemstones, so we're gonna use that energy in this work, okay? So I have a, it's kind of like this clear quartz point situation, a grid, grid enhancer. I guess I don't even know what it's called, but I use it for grid work. So this will be the center of the grid, and then I'll have different crystals going around it, and this kind of just amplifies the energy, right? I also have a natural citrine crystal, a real citrine, and then I'm going to program these for the intention of bringing in abundance, success, prosperity, and increasing my financial income, pulling that vibration in, right? We want the water to vibrate with that energy. So I'm going to take some time and do that right now, okay? Okay. So I have spent some time with that, all right? So I'm going to also add, and I didn't add this into the tea blend, I didn't show you guys this, but I'm going to add some of this powder. I got this from Conjure Cardea. I don't know if you guys can see what that says, but I'm not even going to attempt to try to read what that says. But this powder is really great. I love to use it for success work and victory work, and I'm going to just add a little bit, tiny bit of this into this blend. When I say a tiny, 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 tiny bit, it's like sprinkles, okay? And this is going to serve to bring success and victory into our paper as well, okay? So I'm just gonna stir this up so it's kind of like in here and mixes together with it. And really we're raising the vibrational frequency of this water. So you see that I'm putting crystals in here. You can put moon water in here if you have that, if you want to use that, or you have any other sun charged water, whatever the case may be, you can put that in here as well, okay? Make this your own, but I'm going to raise the vibrational energy of this water before I merge it with our magical tea, okay? So another part of magical technique is color magic, okay? And so we are going to use color magic as a way to infuse this paper with even more intention, okay? So you can use food coloring dye that you can get at the 99-cent store. You don't have to get some fancy dye, but you just get the colors that you're going to be using. Like I said, you can use this for love. You can use this for any other work that you want to do, okay? If you are someone who's into Solomonic magic, then this is perfect because you can do this money ritual and use the blue dye for the energies of Jupiter, okay? But either way, it doesn't have to be this extensive. I am going to use the green one today, but I'm going to use a little bit of the food coloring, and then I'm also going to use some more heavy duty dye to make sure it's really green, and this is actually candle dye. So we're going to use both of them so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, the dye is in here now. If you're afraid of your crystals getting dyed a certain color, look, use a crystal that you don't mind being a little green, okay? So, like I said, this is going to be truly green, a truly green color, and that's okay. Something else that I'm going to put in here is a little bit of mica pigmentation. You don't have to do this. This is optional, but you know I'm extra. So I am going to put a little bit of that in there. Okay, so I have gloves on because the next few steps, you're gonna wanna have gloves on for this. I have my tea batch here, and I wish you guys could smell this because it smells absolutely amazing. But because I'm gonna be pouring it directly into this, I'm just gonna pour it through the sifter over this and into the actual batch, okay? So it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Now your magical herbal concoction is in here. Ooh, the energy just fucking shifted. Woo! Yeah, this is magical now. The energy shifted heavily in this blend. If you guys wanted to add some more of your magic oil or your money oil into this, you can totally do that here as well. But I added it into the tea method or to the steeping method because the oils and everything will kind of emulsify with the tea. But this, you guys, I wish you guys could feel this. It feels so amazing. It's vibrating, okay? So we're pretty much ready, right? I think the only thing that I would say at this point that you would want to make sure that you have for sure, is some gloves, right? You want to make sure that you have gloves on when you're dipping the paper in here. I am going to put a couple more drops of my oil in here. Ooh, honey, this is just like a straight money bath, okay? All right, so now this is the fun part. You're gonna get some paper and you're gonna slowly submerge it into your bath, okay? Again, this has all been blessed and activated and charged with energy and intention, okay? If it has marks or anything weird on it, just know this is magical paper. You want all of that in here, you know? If there's some herbs on here, that's okay. That's energy, that's magic, that's potent. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it just needs to do its job, okay? So we're gonna really let it be in here for a little bit. Really let it soak in that for a few moments. And while we do that, I'm gonna turn on my oven, which is one of the ways that we are going to dry this out. All right, so I have already taken it out, and I just wanna let you guys know, the shimmer does show up on here, okay? I pulled it out of the batch. I have another one in there. I want you guys to see. So as you can see, it doesn't look like super green, but when we heat it up, it's gonna change a little bit, okay? So I have the oven at 350 and I'm going to watch this, okay? You're gonna put it in there, and you're only gonna need to put it in there for maybe like a minute or 2 minutes, because you wanna make sure you don't burn your paper, okay? That's not a good look. Another piece. So I have another piece in here that I'm gonna let soak while I work on the next one, and you can kind of just keep the oven on and then switch one piece of paper, and go back and forth between that for however many pieces that you want. Now, if you have multiple colors that you want to do in one setting, you're gonna want to have a couple of containers, and you're gonna want to have 2 different pans, okay? 2 different pans, because you don't want the colors to you know, rub off on each other, okay? You want to be the star of the show, don't you? Okay. Is that all you have to say? Really? Okay, I have fast forward because I did a couple of pages. I did quite a few here. You can see I did a few so that I could actually be able to speak on it. Now, I will say a couple of things. Scratch what I said before about not putting in mica pigmentation, because this actually makes this look way more magical. It absolutely shows up. It shows up in the light. Let me see if there's the best one on here. Do you see that shimmer? As opposed to like a flat piece. I don't know if that matters. There is shimmer all in and through this. It really does make this piece of paper much more magical, in my opinion, not just all the other things. And there's a little bit of shimmer on the back as well. So these are lightly dyed green. They're not like a deep green color, but I find that if you go about dyeing it and go through the process a couple of times with each piece of paper, it gets darker and darker and darker every time you go and put it back into the oven. So, and also you can always make the actual dye water much darker. You guys saw how much I put in there, but I actually added a bunch more dye in there so I could get it to the green that I wanted. That way I could save more time and do more pieces of paper. Now what I'm gonna do with this piece of paper, like, oh, you guys, this whole page is shimmery. I'm gonna cut these. Actually, one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna burn the edges of all these papers, so there's no machine cut edges on any of this paper. So I don't have to worry about ripping it and tearing it or whatever the case may be for the intention and having the machine cut edges there that I can't use or whatever the case may be. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't care about that, that's not how you roll in your practice, doesn't matter. You can start using these bad boys right now, okay? You literally can start using them right now, and I'm so excited about this piece of paper. Like, this one is probably the best one out of all of them. This one also is pretty shimmery, but this is probably the best one, and I don't even think it does it justice. Like, I don't think you guys can see how much shimmer is in and through this. Right, Leo? That's what I'm saying. This whole thing, look at that. And it's way more intense in person. So imagine making this paper at home and writing your intention, your statement of intent for money on a piece of paper that's literally shining with gold. If that doesn't give you a magical boner, I don't know what will. So this is gonna be how we start this next process. Now, again, like I said, there's lots of ways to use this paper, but let's say, so now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna cut this up and I'm going to add this to my witchy arsenal. Now I always have Magick money paper that I can reach for whenever I'm doing a money ritual or a money ceremony. You could, again, like I said, do this with red dye and dip it and add in love herbs or romance herbs or whatever the case may be, in oils that are in alignment with that intention. And boom, you have love parchment paper ready to go whenever you're trying to do something. You could also do this with self-love work or glamour magic work. Same thing. Anything that you would use to empower a candle or put in a self-love jar or anything like that, those same ingredients, as well as oils that align with self-love and healing. You could add those to the same blend and mixture that I made at the beginning. Mix that together, dye it whatever color that you feel like is in association with your intention, or it doesn't even have to be a color. It can just be the tea itself, because the actual herbs will dye it a color. You know, people dye paper with tea, and you can actually use these things as a part of the practice. They're already charged with intention. They're already charged with energy. You can reach for them. Sometimes a spell does not have to be super convoluted and huge in this huge ceremonial thing. Sometimes it could just be easy as writing your intention on a piece of paper and burning it, or writing it and burying it, or adding it to a jar, whatever the case may be. Now you have a magical tool, and it's not just regular paper, okay? So I'm actually gonna show you what I'm gonna do next with this, and you guys can do this if you'd like, but this is gonna be the fun part for me, okay? So stay tuned. All right, so I have completed this, and as you guys can see, all the edges are burnt just a little bit. Now, you don't have to do this to the paper, but I feel like this one adds more aesthetic value, especially if you're gonna use this in like a book of shadows, or you're gonna use this, my neighbors are staring at me. If you're gonna use this for some type of a book or a journal, it might be a better idea for you to leave these as is, so that you know where to hole punch and do the whole situation. But because I'm going to be using these for other things, and I'm not going to need to worry about that, and again, like I said, I don't want the machine cut edges, so the best way to kind of be able to utilize all of this paper, every single nook and cranny of this paper, is to just burn the edges, because now not only are they no longer machine cut edges, but they're also kind of fire charged, I guess, if that makes any sense. Okay, so this next part is going to be just a little technique that I'm going to show you. So I have also cut these into small squares so that I can use them in certain things, as well as I have the burnt piece here. Now you can do it both ways depending on what it is that you care about, or you can do it none of the ways. But one of the easiest ways to utilize paper like this is to just do stuff like scripting. Scripting is a manifestation technique, but it's also been used in a lot of different spiritual paths as a way to deepen your connection to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest by creating storyline and visual illustrations through words and through creative writing to bring forward what it is that you desire. It's the same thing when we write a petition or when we're writing out our intention for a mojo bag or for a candle, right? So I like to use things like inks, ink pens and stuff like that, and specifically magical inks to write on this specific paper. So I actually have a money magic ink here. Pandora Witch Shop has a money magic ink that you can actually use to write your intentions for money manifestation or money magic work on your piece of paper with. So I'm going to take this inkwell pen here and I'm going to dip into my money magic ink. I also have here my actual ink that came with this pen, but I also added dragon's blood spell ink into this, also used for writing petitions. Okay, so you can use magical inks alongside with your magical paper, and it really does help if you also have inks that are charged with the intention, right? So we're layering, we're matching the intention. I will have the link to this shop and the other shops that I have mentioned here in the description box of this video, of course. Okay, so I have a little inkwell pen. I got this when I was in Sweden. This thing was like 20 bucks. I don't know. The conversion of Swedish money to kronen is like, fuck, it's weird. I was really confused. I was like, does this say like $200,000? I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so I'm actually gonna write on one of these pieces of paper. Okay. My intention. Okay, so I have written here my petition. I've done some money symbols. I got a little spill here at the top, a little ink spill, but that's okay. It's got money infusion in this, right? So I have my petition here, right? And I'm going to just take some of my money oil and I'm gonna anoint the four corners and the center, which is a 5-point pattern. Double it because I've got a lot in my hand. All right, 5-point pattern. This smells so good. Okay, so I'm going to just burn this. Okay, I'm gonna burn this, and I basically turn this into like a money check that I send to myself every day. I can burn this and release it. I can take this piece of paper and fold this up, put it in a money shaker jar with other ingredients. You guys have seen my money shaker jar video. If you wanted to use this paper in the money shaker jar, I think that would be great because it already has been charged with the vibration of money and abundance and prosperity and whatever else that you wanted to put in there, right? You can also use this as a journal. So let's say you have a notebook journal and you want, or a binder, and you want to create pages where you write and script out your manifestation for money, for prosperity, for love, whatever it is, and you want to use these papers for that, you can do the same process. When you finish with everything, hole punch it, or get hole punched paper that's already hole punched by itself, and do the same process, put it into your journal, and now it is now a manifestation piece of paper, and you can use it to kind of boost the energy of whatever it is that you're trying to pull in. Same thing with candle work. If you want to write your petition, fold it up and put it underneath your candle, you can do that same thing too. You can write sigils on this and burn the sigils, or you can write or draw pictures or images on this that are in alignment with your manifestation, or whatever you want to do with it, right? You can really endlessly find ways of utilizing this piece of paper. And I think it's really powerful because you've already blessed and activated it with the energy. You know that it's going to serve and support the work. And it's a little bit more special because you made it, right? You obviously didn't make the paper all the way by itself. That is another video, and there are tons of video out there on YouTube that teaches you how to take recycled paper and repurpose it and make new paper. And that might be a part of the step that you want to do. Maybe you want to make your paper from scratch and you want to imbue it with magical energies, with magical oils, with herbs, with all types of stuff, and put it embedded in the paper. But if you don't have the money for that, or the time, or the attention span for that, you can do this. It's really, really easy. And all the things that I gave you are things that you probably already have around in your house. If you don't have a money oil, you can always make one. Again, like I said, there will be a money oil video very soon. I promise you guys. Leo would like to say hi and make himself known. So you can use that with, you know, anything, right? So this piece of paper has, I'm sorry. What are you doing? This piece of paper has been transformed to be a magical tool for me. And I think you guys can see now the sheen on this. Oh gosh, it's so, so beautiful, you guys. I'm so happy that we're catching it now. Cause at first I was like, is it not gonna show? Like, is it just gonna be for my eyes only? Which I'm totally happy with, but you have to see just like how amazing that sheen is, right? So just imagine looking at this piece of paper where you're calling in your money. Like, this just has become, it feels like a check. Like, this is what it feels like. It feels like a check to me. Like, I don't know, that seems funny to say, but like, look, you know, if that's how you pull in money, so pull in them checks, whatever you gotta do, right? So like I said, be creative. This doesn't have to be for money. It could be for love. It could be for heightening your magical spiritual power. You can use a make petition paper that's good for your protection work. You can use it for baneful magic. You can actually charge the paper so that it could be used for when you do baneful spells. I mean, literally anything you can think of. You can turn your paper into a magical piece of paper, right? Because we are turning the mundane into the magical here on the Glamour Witches channel. Okay? Okay. So yeah, you guys, that's it. All of the shops that I spoke about are going to be listed in the description box down below. I wanted to do something special for this video. If you are interested in getting a couple of sheets yourself, let's say that you're not interested in doing that whole process, because look, sometimes you just don't want to have to do all that. You know, you want the magical paper, but you don't want to have to do all that work that I just did right now. I get it. If you're interested in having some of this magical paper that I have created here on this video, any person who purchases one of my money oils on my website, which is theglamourwitch.com, I have two oils. I have a revenue recharge, which is for boosting your revenue and your sales. And the other one is Secure the Bag, which is a accessory or complement to the candle Secure the Bag, which is a money manifestation candle. You will receive a nice little bundle, a few sheets of this money paper that you can then use to write petitions or go alongside whatever you want to do. And I am going to also make a love one, and I'm also going to make a glamour witch paper as well, which you can use for things like self-love, glamour magic, and beauty rituals. Okay, so you're gonna want to stay tuned for all of that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Like and share this and comment down below and tell me how you use it and your experience with it. I would love, love, love to hear from you guys. I miss you. I love you. Please stay tuned for more updates on my album, which is going to be coming out very, very soon. And I will see you guys in my next video. Be blessed.
Pull out the candles, pull out the crystals, pull out the recipe.